Can this be accomplished? I know you're all
As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible.
He gave us a signal.
Where are you?
Something elemental, something terrifying.
Good Saturday morning, guys, and welcome to episode 23 of CaveCast. I am Sammy Threepeat, and with me, as always, are my illustrious panel members. Of course, Drunken Emerald. How are you?
What the hell? I thought this was in other news. No, I'm joking.
Don't do that, man. You just made me look at everything.
Good morning to you there.
All right.
Not too bad.
Especially after the debacle last week where like I had no internet and everything. I was like, am I in the wrong StreamYard? Is that the but first timer on the show, friend of the channel, Left Eye Ego. How the hell you been?
Doing good, man. Ready to get in some academic talk about CLAYFACE. It's gonna be really fun today.
Yeah, this is gonna be a doozy. We often find that the characters where there's a bunch of stuff about them, like it's pretty cut and dry. You can ease right through them. It was like, but characters like this that have no pun intended, a muddy history. These ones deserve the deep dive, but you'll also be surprised a lot of the deep dives we do where it was just like Solomon Grundy, not a lot to the character, but it's just he's so intertwined with other characters. It ended up being a longer episode, but and of course Iron Oxide will be with us. He's powdering his nose. Or he's probably getting coffee and taking a shit. Let's be honest. Let's see. We got one guy in the chat right now. Leighton Jason Todd. Oh no, Jason Todd.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Dead puppies. Dead puppies. Dead puppies aren't much fun.
Oh, trust me, the next time it'll be a different one that we have a clip of.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My dick veins are a cry for passion.
They are. He is truly the people's Batman. Let's get right into it. Well, actually, first, just to start, do you guys have a usually everyone always the animated series is goated.
Yeah.
So does anyone have like a thought on CLAYFACE before like going in or
most of my knowledge is around the animated series when it specifically comes to CLAYFACE. I mean, it's a very interesting character. I will say that much. I did like what the animated series did with him, but I'm looking forward to learning a few more of the other iterations that I am more unaware of. So,
yeah, there's only really one other one that I say rivals, but how about you, Left Eye?
Like my favorite version of him?
Just thoughts on the character.
I didn't know there are that many versions of them. I mean, my introduction was Batman the Animated Series, like for a lot of people, and I kind of liked that version. But I think once we start going over the history and which ones we've had, it might change, or I might have more of a deep perspective. I guess the idea of CLAYFACE, I guess, is just with so many iterations and being put in the animated one first, it's confusing a little bit. So hopefully we can elucidate a lot of that today.
Well, another thing I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about a lot of characters in Batman the animated series have their own like score, and Clayface's was always just I thought it encapsulated the character perfectly because it's such a tragic character. Okay, yeah, he'll be in a second. Yeah, such a tragic character. Just and the score truly reflected that. Just with the instrumentation, and it's a depressing score because he's a depressing character. He's immensely powerful, but like he's lost his identity. But you'll also see that he was kind of losing his identity before he even got his powers, and when. So I everybody knows him as Matt Hagen from the animated series, but the original character's name is Basil Carlo, and they took Basil Carlo's story pretty much, and they gave it to Matt Hagen. Why they decided to do that, I don't know, but Basil Carlo is a Golden Age character, so. Let's just jump right into it. First thing I want to do, though, is I probably should have did a little bit of prep work. But let's go.
Prep work is overrated, man. I mean, come on. I have my show tonight, and I still don't have a clue what I'm even going to do tonight. Who needs prep work? I'll throw it together at the last minute, like always.
I mean... we'll start with no. See, it always redirects right to Clayface, so I have to go to the image. The original Clayface guys. Are you really going to be turrets like that? Are you? Looked like this. Hold on, we'll have to zoom in real quick.
Zoom in and enhance. Zoom in and enhance.
Enhance. Can you guys see it now?
No.
Oh, because I'm not sharing it.
Yeah, you got to share the screen.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the first episode of CaveCast. Sammy P.
I just learned how to enhance. Okay.
Okay.
I'm an enhanced virgin. But yeah, he was just a dude in a mask. They named him Basil Carlo because I'm pretty sure it was just yeah, so he was just an actor who was like killing and he was a B-list actor. He was I guess he was inspired by Lon Chaney from Phantom of the Opera, and names they got the name from Boris Karloff and Basil Rathbone. Boris Karloff obviously being Frankenstein, and Basil Rathbone is a pretty famous version of Sherlock Holmes, and basically he was kind of like this jilted actor who was kind of a master of disguise, and he was framing people. Actually, the new Amazon show, even though it's garbage, they do a pretty good job with that character. And we're in a Bryce here, my buddy. Always good to see you. But he is he's not super powered in any way. And I mean, his character goes back to Detective Comics 40, I believe, and that's in the 1940s. So like, he's a golden age character. He's within the first 2 years of Batman's inception, so he's been around for quite some time. And then you get I believe he gets killed off, and then the character is kind of like done. And then obviously the Silver Age version is Matt Hagen, and Matt Hagen is kind of the one where you start to see like the shape shifting abilities and things like that. but he's just kind and that's you obviously see that because when you get into the Silver Age, there's a lot more science fiction aspects being brought in. You weren't really allowed to make serial killer characters anymore because of the comics book authority, and that's where you kind of see oh, there we go.
All right, can you hear me? I was having some problems with my mic setting.
I can hear you just fine. Welcome to the show. Oh, and I forgot to put my banner. El Gacho says like the stream, hombre. El Gacho say subscribe to the channel, amigo. El Gacho says share the stream, mi amor. So and yeah, so when you get to the 50s, you get Matt Hagen, or I don't know if he's the 50s. I'm probably early 60s. And he's like he's just this dude who jumps into like a magic puddle, and then he can change his form. And that's he retained the title for a little while, and then they rebooted him in the 70s. And probably my second favorite iteration of Clayface is a guy by the name of Preston Payne. And we'll probably get into that, but we'll get into the Golden Age history and everything now. But it's very strange to me that they always give Matt Hagen Basil Karlo's background in any sort of iteration, because they just wanted to combine the character. And eventually when they rebooted it, they're just like, well, we'll just make Basil a mud monster too. And then so eventually when they wanted to bring him back, he captures like all 5 iterations of Clayface and then takes their blood and then becomes the ultimate version of Clayface. So it was like everything that you think about Clayface, you probably have the name wrong, but you're technically correct if you say Basil Karlo, because eventually he just steals everybody's powers and just becomes this, so like I said, no pun intended, muddy history for Clayface. So we're gonna dive right into the history here. And also, why is this Streamlabs stream so small? How do we fix that? How do we fix you?
Zoom and enhance. I mean,
yeah, but I'm just talking about for mine. And then let's maybe put okay. Now I can at least the chat will come up, but I just want to make sure that everyone can see. And maybe we can zoom and enhance. Ooh, spooky. There we go.
Looks like you're Nosferatu.
Yeah, I don't for horror film. Okay, that tracks. The original version of Clayface, Basil Karlo, first appeared in Detective Comics 1940 or issue 40, June of 1940. He's a B-list actor driven insane when he hears that a remake of a classic horror film he had starred in, Dread Castle, would be shot without him acting in the film, even though he is the one of the advising staff, donning a costume of Clayface, a villain he once played in a different movie. He begins killing the actors playing characters he killed in the order and the way that they die in the film, along with someone who knew his identity last. He plans to murder the actor playing the Clayface killer. He is foiled by Batman and Robin. So, I mean, pretty cut and dry. Mm-hmm. Almost a Scooby-Doo plot.
And I do want to point out for those that watched the
murders.
Yeah, I want to point out to the people that watched the last episode, we have a lot of strange characters that came out in the 40s. When we went down the rabbit hole, the amount of just oddball characters that came out in the 40s, that they definitely were trying some different things.
Yeah. So Solomon Grundy was an eye opener on just like how much the DC universe really bought out and conglomerated these characters, like, you know, before, like, everybody knows about like the Fawcett comics and Charlton comics, where, you know, those used to be their own universes, and then, you know, they'd buy it out, and eventually now you're seeing Captain Marvel in the DC universe, you know, now, or Shazam. Now you're seeing Blue Beetle and Peacemaker and all these, but all these started as their own comic book universes, and apparently Solomon Grundy had a run in with all of them, but talking Clayface today. And but yeah, that was a ton of fun, man. That was
unexpected.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to like incorporate that. We might just do like a Golden Age episode after we get through like core cast and just some exploration. So either way, Scooby-Doo like villain. You know, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the other guy dressed up in a costume and his ward. He reappears after the prison ambulance he is riding in plunges off a cliff. He once again dons the mask of Clayface, and he targets Bruce Wayne's fiance, Julie Madison. So Julie Madison's got to be around for. So she's been around since 39.
Wow.
And you know, I usually think of, just because of the movies like Vicky Vale or someone like Silver St. Cloud, but Julie Madison, and I'm pretty sure Julie Madison shows up in Batman and Robin. I think that's the. In case you forgot, George Clooney does have a fiance in that movie. I'm
sorry, but that Julie Madison picture from 2014, I swear she's got a bulge. What the hell were they doing? Go back to that image. Look at how she's sitting, and I mean, right there. I mean, there's shadow there. That's a dude.
Tattoo on the arm.
Look.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg Capullo is a wonderful artist, but like, it's kind of like a who would be a great example? Like John Romita Jr., where it was like, oh, he obviously fucking drew this. Like, you know, like he's got a particular style about him, but yeah, that's a bulge there.
Look at her neck. Look at her.
Yeah, that's getting
You're like,
into.
Wait a minute. Look at
that's getting into like heavy smoker, or maybe hot old aunt vibes right there. Let's see in other media. Was I correct? Yes, Julie Madison makes a minor appearance as Al McPherson, as the version of Bruce Wayne's fiance. So even look how insane this is. Normally, like, first appearance, so you boom, 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 boom. So Matt Hagen is 1961. Preston Payne is in 78. Cassius Clay, which is probably, or Cassius Clay, in case anybody didn't know, that is the former moniker of Muhammad Ali, but they decided, I don't know why they decided to do that. I don't even know the rest of these, what their names are. So we will get into that. But that's the Golden Age. Like I said, it's let's see if I can find some pictures of Matt Hagen. So we saw what Basil Carlo looked like. Why don't we go Matt Hagen DC, and it's gonna be Clayface again. But let's see if I can find a good example of what he kind of looked like. 61. Yeah, you're just gonna keep getting pictures of. Oh, okay. No, that is this it? No, that's.
Here we go.
Let me see. See. Yeah. Yeah, that I mean, for more intents and purposes, yeah, he's a little CLAYFACE. Oh, also Boosh. Also good to see you, brother. Yeah, he's. I mean, that's kind of a poor example. That's kind of the Arkham verse. He's more.
Let's
Here.
here's an interesting one. Okay, let me.
All right. Let me see.
I got this one here.
No, well, that's him in. That's a famous shot from like the animated series. Someone just drew it better. So obviously, so Matt Hagen's not an actor. Um. Here I found this.
Oh,
Let
okay.
me. So eventually, all the CLAYFACEs get together, and they form some. Or let me remove that. And they form something called oh, I have to share my screen.
Yeah, zoom and enhance.
They formed something called the Mud Pack. So this is all the iterations. So there's obviously the original CLAYFACE in the center. There's Mrs. Mud. The guy in the suit is Preston Payne, so CLAYFACE the third, and that is Matt Hagen, that blob behind CLAYFACE 2. So he's more of like this amorphous thing, but he does have the shape-shifting powers. He actually kind of looks. This is an adaptation of it, but like when you first see it, he kind of looks like a shitty, less imposing version of like Ben Grimm, like just like a clump of rocks, where it was like definitely got a human shape, but like he's this walking turd. It was hard to describe without like getting a good visual reference, but so there's not much to him. He's probably the least used CLAYFACE as far as I can't say that for further iterations, but
here's an image of him more as a human turd.
Yeah, see that still might be because of the
Gotham.
For more or less, that's what we're dealing with. But that still might be Basil Carlo as we move forward, because it's hard to find a picture of him because of the murkiness of the character. It's almost interchangeable when it's really not. And there's like this huge misconception here. So while Earth One's version of CLAYFACE has a similar history, he was only seen in a flashback of okay. Let's find. So this is all of Carlo. We're still on Carlo. That's what was confusing me.
Wow.
So then we get to Matt Hagen. So Matt, okay, here we go. Enhance. That's how he looked.
Where is everyone?
Let me see.
What are you doing to me? Like the bottom button is so big, or like where all the buttons are is so big, it's taking up half the screen, and I cannot see my top screen anymore. Hold on. This is getting dumb. Everything's gone hooky. Okay, why would you do
I don't want to say that you would be good to have a producer to help you out, but I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, maybe. This is absurd. I can see you guys on the panel, but my screen on Streamlabs has gotten so small that I can no longer see what I'm doing. I might have to like exit this out.
Hey. It was hold music.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. We're moving on. We're gonna have to switch screens because apparently this is. And then later I'll show you what was going on after the show here. So it'll be harder to read, but at least I can see. Okay, well, that's about as good as it's going to get. Why, though? Why so small? Teeny tiny. Okay. So I guess there's an Earth 1 version. So yeah, so Earth 1 version, he's basically still Karloff or Carlo. He was later killed by John Carlinger, but that's still Silver Age. This is Earth 1. We've talked about how I'm blaming this solely on StreamYard. That was what I was witnessing. It was like I was looking at like a screen like this big. But it was nice to know that my entire staff is still here. It was like, don't you want to see? You don't want to see what you're presenting. You want to see what your panel looks like, as if they're not on the top of the fucking screen. Oh, and you know what? I just figured out what it is.
There we go.
Well, wah wah. Streamlabs or StreamYard. Either way. So
Iron, you're muted if you've been talking.
Yeah, you're muted.
I'm muted.
Oh, no,
you're unmuted.
No, I just wanted to see someone else fuck up for a second. All right. So this is post-crisis, as we talk. Post-crisis is the first reboot that DC ever did. In the post-crisis continuity, Carlo languishes in a prison hospital when current Clayface, Sandra Fuller, who is Lady Clayface or Miss Mudd or Miss Clayface, many names. Carlo proposes an alliance between all living Clayfaces to kill Batman and did an attempt to resurrect Matt Hagen. So Matt Hagen dies. So it's going to get interesting when we get into Matt Hagen, but we got to finish Carlo at least post-crisis before we get into Hagen because there's stuff going on here. And then we'll have to circle back to Hagen after we talk about the the other iterations. So I'm really upset that StreamYard screwed me here because like we have to have more time.
We've all been screwed by StreamYard. It's okay, man.
I know, but this is my big chance. This is my big chance, and I blew it. I had Left Eye Ego on the show, and I was like, I did it. No, so
just because of that, Streamlabs decided, haha, you thought this was going to go smoothly. I'll show you.
Pretty much. But moving onward and upward. So they basically all get together and they call themselves the Mud Pack. And then even though the Mud Pack is defeated, Carlo injects himself with blood samples of Preston Payne and Sandra Fuller, gaining the abilities to shave ship and melt with a touch. He becomes the self-declared ultimate Clayface, and he is defeated by the combined efforts of Batman and the Looker, which, you know. All right. Of the Outsiders, and the Outsiders is a team that if we do cover it, it's going to take like 18 episodes because there are so many characters in that. That's just basically before there was like Batman Incorporated. That was like Batman's team.
Mhm.
Are you trying to say something?
Yeah, I've been trying to talk this whole time. I'm having some mic issues.
Might have to restart. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say hand signals.
Yeah. No, he was he was doing CaveCast for the hearing impaired. That's the
I greatly appreciate him for this.
yes, I also I'm basically deaf in one ear. So thank you. So the Batman and the Iron and the Looker take him down, overloading his abilities, making him melt to the ground. He literally sinks into the Earth's crust and loses control of his powers. He survives, however, and now has his body sports crystals that similar to quartz that endow him with like greater power. Carlo escapes into his underground prison when Gotham City is struck by the Cataclysm, which of course is a giant earthquake that strikes Gotham, and basically the U.S. government decides that Gotham, yes, friend of the channel, death people. The U.S. government decides that Gotham is so far gone that they like blow up every single bridge to Gotham, and it becomes a storyline called No Man's Land. He captures Batman and is about to kill him, but he gets into a feud with Mr. Freeze, which, by the way, the cover for this is amazing. And I'm not going to get sidetracked again, but we'll because it's got CLAYFACE like hitting Batman with fire, and it's got Mr. Freeze like shooting him with the ice gun, and Batman's just like screaming on the cover, and it's pretty sweet. But yes, it's got Mr. Freeze in the best Mr. Freeze suit, who is he has the right to kill Batman. They're debating on who has the right, and using that distraction, Batman soundly defeats them both. Oh, and Batman's No Man's Land, which great cover there by Alex Ross.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Yep. Actually, that's the one I've assigned Alex Ross print, and that's the print. Then my wife bought that for me for my
nice
birthday or Christmas one year. And Carla holds Poison Ivy prisoner in Robinson Park after she is freed from her prison by Batman. Ivy battles and defeats Carlo, sinking him into the deep. But you can even see it here on the top, and he's not always drawn with them. He's got those crystals on his back. But I mean, so we still have a bit more to go through for Carlo. He in Infinite Crisis, CLAYFACE resurfaces as a member of Alexander Luthor's secret society of supervillains. He later seeks to increase his power, his already formidable power, by absorbing Wonder Woman.
Interesting. Okay.
Because she in that continuity, she is a clay construct.
Okay.
She was a clay statue brought to life by Hippolyta. She was not a demigod yet. If he's successful in absorbing some of the heroine's powers, causing her to regress to a teenage appearance resembling Donna Troy. He's ultimately returned to normal when Wonder Woman and Donna trick CLAYFACE into entering a train carriage with Wonder Woman while disguised as Donna. Donna subsequently using the lasso of truth to swing the carriage around and turn into a mystical centrifuge, causing Clayface with taken from Wonder Woman to slow. Okay, bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
We got it. Okay, so that's where we are with Basil. Now let's go into Matt Hagen. Okay, so like I said, this is when people get them all mixed up. Ryu, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. So the second version of Clayface is Matt Hagen. First appearance in Detective Comics 298. He's a treasure hunter. And he finds a mysterious radioactive pool of protoplasm in a cave, immersing himself in it by accident, as you know, because comic books. He's transformed into a malleable clay-like form that could be shaped into almost anything he desires. This is an only temporary effect. I think it's only for 48 hours. I think he can only like hold whatever form he's in for like 48 hours. But he's transformed to and he desires. This is only a temporary effect, however, requiring him to return to the pool periodically to maintain the use of his powers. So it's kind of like a Lazarus pit deal as well. His criminal activities attracted the attention of Batman and Robin. Batman discovered his weakness and then defeated him. Hagen later escapes from prison and then decides to investigate the protoplasmic substance that turned him into Clayface so he could find out a way to prolong his powers. Clay poses as wealthy citizens of Gotham to learn more about his criminal activities. Batman and Robin later confront Clayface at his hideout using a combination of a freeze gun and the protoplasmic substance to defeat Clayface and return him to prison. Hagen eventually breaks out of prison and uses the protoplasmic pool to become Clayface again. Protoplasmic is killing me right now. This time, Batman defeats Clayface by immersing himself in the protoplasm. Yes, it's real fun to say over and over and over again. With the result battle causing Batman to destroy the cave that contained the protoplasmic pool. Clayface later appears again as a member of Queen Bee's Anti-Justice League. And that's great. They're defeated by the Justice League. Shocker, I know. During Crisis of Infinite Earths, there you go. Matt Hagen is killed by one of Anti-Monitor's Shadow Demon together with the Bug-Eyed Bandit.
Oh, so literally a bug eye. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Been around since
I thought it was just a liberal leftist woman.
yeah,
They're usually bug-eyed.
Yeah, been around since 66, and that's a Gardner Fox creation, apparently. That's
wow.
Gardner Fox, big time contributor to DC. Hey, Watcher. So in Infinite Frontier, the Matt Hagen version of Clayface first appears as one of the escapees from Arkham Asylum. He briefly fought Batman before escaping into the sewers. By the time Batman caught up to Clayface, he tried to fool him in the form of Damian Wayne, only for Batman to throw a net on him, which I don't understand how that was gonna do anything for Clayface. But I digress. Anyone who has played with Play-Doh as a child will know that the net will not work. When Clayface breaks free, Batman has Penny One use the Batmobile sonic cannon on him. Penny One then tells Batman that he's alerted the police, who will take Clayface back to Arkham Asylum. And then in DC All In, Matt Hagen appears at a Clayface gathering called the Fraternity of Mud. When Harley Quinn accidentally crashes the gathering, Hagen and the other Clayfaces attack her. The Clayfaces stop their attack when Harley uses formaldehyde on Clownface. Okay. So, like I said, not a lot to Matt Hagen, and it's weird that they always give him the Matt Hagen moniker. Basil Carlo, as like we said, we have to go back to Basil Carlo, but a much richer history. But here is actually my second favorite of Clayface. So this one, and this is in like the Bronze Age. So this is when Batman was starting to get serious again. We're pulling out of the Silver Age. We're starting to have killers be killers and not just like crazy Silver Age nonsense.
I'll get you, Batman.
Yeah. I'm a super villain. And I'm robbing this bowling alley. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Until we meet again, Batman.
Yeah, that's saved solely for Killer Croc afterwards. Like, I return to the sewers, but I cry vengeance. I cry vengeance on you, Batman. The third version of Clayface is Preston Payne. Preston Payne is this dude right here, the one in the suit. And there's a reason he's got to be in the suit. But out of all of the characters, I think he's the most tragic. So August 1978. We're going to scroll all the way back. Oh, but we didn't have to scroll far because Matt Hagen, there's nothing to him. The third version of Clayface first appeared in Detective Comics 477 before making his first full appearance in Detective Comics 478, 479. Suffering from hyperpituitarism.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's not the same as giganticism, but has something to do with.
Look at the symptoms. But look at the symptoms. I don't know how that turns you into Clay. Symptoms and signs of this of it.
Yeah. No. We got to get into it. So he essentially he looks like Rocky from Mask. Okay.
Sure.
He's got a big old head, and he's just misformed. Maybe not so much to the extent, but he's also a brilliant kid, but he doesn't have any friends. He's made fun of. He works at Star Labs, Gotham division, searching for a cure, and he obtains a sample of Matt Hagen's blood. He goes to Arkham Asylum, where Matt Hagen is, and Matt Hagen lets him take his blood. And Matt Hagen wasn't a dick about it or any. There was no, you scratch your back, I'll scratch mine. He was like, hey man, yeah, I see your face. Like, hey, no,
you need this.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a touchy thing. So he obtains a sample of Matt's blood. He isolates the enzyme, which he introduces to his own bloodstream. Although he's briefly able to shape his own appearance, he gets handsome. He's going on a date. The effect is short-lived. His flesh begins to melt, and he's horrified because the girl that he's dating, he grabs her on the arm, and she dissolves into protoplasm. Protoplasm's back, everybody. Friend of the channel, protoplasm. But no, so literally, as he's trying to like tell her to wait, like, because he's melting in front of her, when he grabs her, she melts into just like this puddle of goo. So she dissolves into he builds that exoskeleton so he can touch things and people, because his touch melts people. So so to contain his contagion, but he soon learns that he needs to transmit his contagion onto others to survive. So when he doesn't touch someone for quite some time, he gets feverish and weak. So he's essentially kind of a vampire. Yeah. It's an interesting thing, but so mostly he would stick around like the docks and like touch like homeless people and unfortunates because he didn't want to get caught. Hey, BS Warren, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. There was a bunch of problems earlier. Glad you made it. but it's all better now. Keep watching. So we're talking about Clayface 3. So now that he realizes that he can melt people, he doesn't want to do that, so he builds an exoskeleton. But then after he builds the exoskeleton, he realizes that he needs to touch people to survive. So he during this time, as one would, his mental health begins to slip, and as one does, he falls in love with a wax mannequin at Gotham Mall. He names Helena, thinking that she's the only woman immune to his touch. And in this issue, he has like it's almost like
holy crap! Is this where they got the idea for mannequin?
Yeah, but I'm also saying it's also kind of like Will Smith in I Am Legend.
Yeah,
Where, it's really upsetting. So during this storyline, he remembers he gets like really upset because they moved this mannequin to like the lingerie section, and he's like, "Oh, she's cheating on me." And then, well, also he needs to survive by turning people into these puddles of goo. So Batman's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And then he sees like Batman going into the mall after hours, and he's like, "Oh, it's this fuck Batman who's messing around with Heather." So he attacks him on the premise that Batman's cheating on cheating on like cheating with Heather on him, who I said is an inanimate object. And he eventually tries to, Bruce realizes how sick he is, and he actually like sets up in Arkham Asylum like a living room with the mannequin where like he can just watch TV and eat popcorn, like while they tried to like work on curing him, because it was just like this guy is far gone, man. Like this isn't like a Victor Freeze deal. This person isn't real. Then it gets a little crazier. If that wasn't crazy enough, it gets crazier. So during the Mud Pack storyline, which that's what we talked about, where all the Clayfaces got together, the Clayface family reunion, the Mud Pack storyline, Sandra Fuller, who's the fourth Clayface, who's basically just Lady Clayface, she begins masquerading as the superheroine, the Looker, and visits Payne in Arkham. At the same night, they get into an argument. Oh, Iron's back.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
If not, we've already decided hand signals to make your point work for the hearing impaired.
Yes.
And there we go. Perfect.
Wow. See, he's a natural.
Worked right away.
So we talked. Just were you listening while you were gone, or
no? I had to restart my computer like
so
3
we
times.
were just talking about Matt Hagen is brief. There's not. He basically could shapeshift. Then now we're talking about Preston Payne. That's the third iteration of Clayface. That's the one who, if he touches you, you melt. And the only real thing that Matt Hagen contributed was he gave Preston Payne his blood. So in the Mud, this is when it gets crazy. And do you remember the issue where he was like dating the mannequin, and Batman was basically like, "Hey, there's this guy killing people in this mall," and this guy's like, "Don't cheat on my girlfriend, or don't cheat with my girlfriend on me." And then he realizes it's a mannequin, and he puts him in Arkham.
Yeah.
And that's so during the storyline, Sandra Fuller, she is masquerading as the Looker, visits Payne in Arkham. That same night, he gets into an argument with Helena and unintentionally knocks her head off, believing he has killed her. So like this mannequin is pretty important in the Clayface.
We've all been there, right, guys?
Yeah. You're like, oh, they're there.
If the head falls off, I just return it back to Japan and ask for a refund.
Yes.
Right. Never buy them off Amazon. What are you doing? You got to go to a reputable dealer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Art pieces.
Yeah, fans been
Oh,
finding
man.
new and innovative ways to update their mannequins.
I said it's an art piece.
It was like, I need to return this mannequin. It was like, okay, what's the model? It's called the Sucky Happy Ending. Okay, moving on.
But it's all crusty. Anyway,
Sir, you have to clean. You have to clean. Thanks, Rick. Love you, bud.
anyways,
Okay. So he believes that he's killed his mannequin. He goes on a rampage until he's subdued by guards. Fuller, who is still using the Looker's appearance and powers, rescues him and influences him to follow Basil Carlo's commands. Carlo ultimately betrays Payne and Fuller and takes samples of their blood to inject into himself. Payne finally breaks free of Fuller's control, and he's just about to kill her when she admits that how sorry she is for using him. The two, after escaping, fall in love and then go live together while on the run, leading Fuller to become pregnant with their child, Cassius Clay.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, Clay. I get it now.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
why they did that.
So that's he next appears in Justice League Cry for Justice. Let's okay, no, that's 2009. We can move right on to Sandra Fuller, version 4 of
it's
Clayface.
not because she's a woman, it's just because she sucked.
Yeah, and he's like, what that Clay do? And
The answer is anything you want. Am I right, fellas?
you know what? If I have to sleep with any comic book character and be in a long-term relationship, it's gonna be a shapeshifter. It's like, hey, be blonde tonight. Bit bigger. Okay, smaller. Okay, 3 of them. Possibilities are endless. All right, so in the 4th version of Clayface, Sandra Fuller, also known as Lady Clay or Mrs. Mudd, they don't have that in there, but
I hate myself.
I know. First appeared in Outsiders 21. She is a member of Strike Force Cobra, which I have to know. Okay, it's no special page, just
Further down.
What?
Oh no. There was no special page. It just
I'm sure it's on a page of like sweet sounding comic book teams that aren't really that important. That's I'm guessing that's the name of the page.
Pretty much.
Sandra, I'm feeling adventurous. Formed a Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. Sister Act 2 Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes.
Two. Different two.
Let's see. Who is transformed into a shapeshifter by her employer Cobra's technology. And Cobra is not King Cobra.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
What is okay?
It's a team created by Jack Kirby. That's what I'm saying. I love going down these deep dives where it was like, oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure the DC Cobra predates G.I. Joe Cobra. Pretty sure.
I mean, 76.
76.
A little bit. I think G.I. Joe Cobra was like 82.
Yeah, I mean, obviously G.I. Joe had been around for forever, but when they re-updated it,
when they commissioned Marvel to do the comics and give them more of a backstory, that's when Cobra.
Yep. Okay, so, but what about King Cobra? Okay, the series King Cobra, but King Cobra. Okay, so
1982.
Yeah, that. All right, yeah. So we're all on the mark here, but apparently it does have something to do with King Cobra. I just don't. What happens when Clayface gets mud butt? Oh, that's I'm sure. It's
no one knows.
Clayface possesses identical abilities to those of Matt Hagen, but they are permanent without requirement for exposure to protoplasm. Protoplasm, word of the day. Apparently, we're gonna just keep going back to protoplasm. She can additionally copy any special powers of the being she's mimicking. So she's broken, apparently. Clayface is defeated by the Outsiders but got away. Later, after the Mud Pack forms and battles Batman, Fuller falls in love with Preston Payne. After Clayface Prime, Carlo is defeated. Preston Payne and Sandra escape, get married, go on the run. They have a child by the name of Cassius Clay Payne, a play on the boxer Muhammad Ali's birth name, as if we didn't get it. After Abattoir, who is an insane character, kidnaps a child. Brief shout out to Abattoir. It's a schizophrenic, superstitious, cannibalistic serial killer. He had a fear of death and was under the delusion that if he absorbed his victims' life forms when he killed them, therefore prolonging his lifespan, he's obsessed with his own bloodline, believing that his relatives are all evil, set out to murder members of his extended family. He wore a makeshift cape and a trench coat to imitate costume beings like Superman, Batman. John Paul Valley let Abattoir fall to his death in the Nightfall storyline. But yeah, our Abattoir is a screwed up character. So Abattoir kidnaps the child. So when Abattoir kidnaps your child, you want to act fast. The couple gets into a fight involving Azrael, Batman, and eventually defeated them both. And Fuller is put into custody. Okay, that's good enough for her. Let's move on to Cassius Clay Payne.
Left out your response every time he says that. It's great. Just
because it's so cringe.
So
it is.
It's
like let's name our kid a pun.
It's a play on a real name.
Right. Back then, they probably thought, hey, we are fans of Muhammad. We're like giving him credit, not realizing how, that's not
thought
good.
they were cooking. It was terrible. No.
Yeah, no, they did. It was like, let's see. After the Mud Pack incident between Payne and Fuller, they escape, they fall in love, they go on the run. Eventually, they have a child together. Cassius Clay Payne, who becomes the fifth version of Clayface and debuted back in Batman 550. The boy is separated from his parents and held in a government laboratory. The name Cassius is a pun on Cassius Clay, the birth name of boxer Muhammad Ali. It's almost like there's not shit to this character.
I'm hip. I'm cool, guys.
Yeah.
Look, I made a character.
Fellow youngsters.
Yeah. Hello, fellow kids. If a piece of him is separated from his body, it can grow a mind of its own. But mostly, it thinks in unstable form of what Cassius wants. If bonded with another human, it becomes a clay thing. The piece can give that human Clayface-like abilities, such as becoming soft, malleable, and being able to withstand bullets and other forms of harm, and can also manifest Payne's ability to melt objects. That was like, but out of all of them, that's the power I want the least. All this person would have to do is perform such an action is think about it. Cassius finds it very painful and distressing to have pieces of himself taken, and will go to crazed lengths to recover him. When Thomas Elliott attempted to give himself shaped, Hush.
There we
go. Okay.
Real quick, what's interesting is they did a kind of a dumbed down version of that storyline in Batman the Animated Series.
I remember
where the Matt version of Clayface starts evolving and he's able to give birth basically to that young street kid that the animated series version of Tim Drake.
Yeah.
I digress. You may continue, sir.
No, but so that's true. But so there was an easier way to do this. I could have just gone through them, and then we could have just talked about the animated series Clayface, because he's an amalgam of all of them. And also Sebrew, great to see you. Okay, Thomas Elliot attempted, and we all know Thomas Elliot is Hush. Hush is sweet. He's determined that Cassius is the pure Clayface, the only pure Clayface in existence, as well as other retained fragments from former human DNA, where Cassius is the only Clayface who was never human.
Fair.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. The 6th version of Clayface.
Oh my god.
Peter Malley.
Clayface.
He also debuted. So this is, I don't like this because he debuted in 550. That's where Cassius debuted. That's where he called the Clay Thing.
Oh god. Yeah.
That's one of the things where Clay Thing is created when a skin sample from Cassius Payne, who I don't know if you know this, he's named for Cassius Clay, who is the birth name of Muhammad Ali. I don't think we said that enough today. Comes to life and
that and protoplasm.
Yes, with DEO scientists. Oh yeah, protoplasm. Can't forget protoplasm. Never gonna have a problem saying protoplasm anytime soon. Scientist Peter Malley, he had the ability to melt objects by looking at them. Clay Thing was destroyed by Cameron Chase, who also debuted in 550 apparently, but drawn by Kelly Jones. Love me some Kelly Jones. Turns his own powers against him and remains stored at the DEO headquarters. DEO stands for the Department of Extranormal Operations. So he's one of the Clay Things that Clayface can hey, a serious man. That he's one of the things that Clayface 5 can make. So like technically he's not a Clayface, he's a Clay Thing. Which is a play on the word plaything, because that's okay. So let's move on to the 7th version. Todd Russell. Good old Todd. The 7th version of Clayface debuted in Catwoman Volume 3, Issue 1 in January 2002, but is not actually shown until Catwoman Volume 3 Issue 3 in March of 2002. But that one bends your noodle, huh? Yeah.
Debuted, but not seen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so there's always that comic book argument. Is Venom's arm really the first appearance of Venom, or is it the first time that he says, "Hi, I'm Venom," and shows up in the comic book? I'll
say the arm.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone goes with, the arm, because okay, that's a bad example because that arm is pushing Peter Parker in front of a subway train, and he's like, "Why didn't my spider sense go off?" But they do this with everything. They did it with Hobgoblin. They did it with the Green Goblin. They do it all. They do it all the time. These characters, this character does not remember his true identity, but is said that he resembles the actor Todd Russell. I get that all the time too. Struggling with memory loss, he uses aliases such as Brian, Greg, and Todd.
Todd's an alias?
Apparently.
You know what? Todd's a perfect alias.
I have never met a Todd that I like.
Exactly.
But anyway,
but if someone said their name was Todd, I'd be like, I've never met a Todd. So I have nothing to base Todd. Like if I meet a guy named Max, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's Max. But Todd, no. Either way, it's perfect.
Todd's a nice guy. Todd is unthreatening. Todd's a bit of a douche.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Todd's always a bit of a douche.
Well, you have to be to earn that extra D. But let's see. Having the power to change into virtually any shape and size, he preys upon prostitutes in Gotham's East End until Catwoman, protector of prostitutes, is able to contain his severed head inside of a freezer. I might have to pick this up. Also, like, if you could turn into any shape or size, like, I would like join the NFL or rob a bank, or I don't know if my immediate thing would be to prey on prostitutes. And they're like, Todd, no, stop, Todd.
Get an art piece, not from Amazon. I mean, there's many things you can do.
Yeah. You know,
I hear Bracers is hiring.
Maybe pretend to be somebody else who's rich and have a night out on the town, like, you know, like going to a casino as Bruce Wayne and be like, hey, is my credit good here? And they're like, sir, you own this place. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's fun to say. Fair. And then, you know, like, have a night out. But so anyway, he decides to prey on prostitutes, whatever that means. And then he ends up with his severed head in the freezer. Tale as old as time. Classic Todd. There are very few background details given about this character's past. He was in the army. He suffered injuries and subsequently experimented on before losing most of his memory and discovering his new powers. After his capture, he was held captive and experimented further for almost 2 years at Star Labs. Dude, Star Labs. Got a lot going on.
So he's kind of a shape-shifting Jason Bourne. Got it.
Yeah. He's like Barry from that HBO series. All right. We're actually not doing terrible on time here, so we will be able to have. We're gonna move forward. So he's freed. Johnny Williams, the 8th version.
Oh,
CLAYFACE.
Lord have mercy.
I'm not. Like I said, and keep in mind when we got to this point, when me and Drunken got to this point, we had yet to get out of the golden age of Solomon Grundy. Like we were in some, because it was like, oh, he was fighting Green Lantern, and then like the Flash came by, and then this superhero team from the 40s stepped in, and was like, is Batman on it? No, but he like founded it, and sometimes he would like show up and hang out, and it was quite the thing. So the 8th version of CLAYFACE, Johnny Williams, debuted in Batman Gotham Knights in February 2005. William is a former firefighter who is transformed into a clay-based creature after an explosion at a chemical plant. Solid. Can't go wrong.
Thank God, not more protoplasm.
I'm okay with that.
Chemical plant explosion, good go-to.
Yeah. It can't, it's better than Mystic Puddle of protoplasm that was just magically there. And the best part is when Hagen comes out of the puddle, he turns himself into like a what's the half man, half horse?
Oh, centaur.
Yeah, like a centaur. He's like, I can turn into anything. And you're like, centaur was your first pick.
And then another one decides, hey, you want to? I'm going to turn into a douche named Todd.
Yeah. I could be anything I want. I will be Todd.
Dude turns himself into a scimitar. You got to wonder, what are you thinking? Where are you going? Are you going to Mexico? What's going on? Where you heading, buddy? What's your plans? I think we all deserve an answer.
Like, people always ask, like, hey, what like power would you have? And, some people pick like invisibility or being able to read minds. And it was like, I would pick the power of flight, simply just to go to church one day and then just start floating in the middle of the mass and just going like, and then just
No, I'd rather turn into a centaur and head down to
Guadalajara. Here I come.
or my other dream was to go like back in 8th grade and on the morning of September 11th just have like a full-on like seizure and freak out and be like, so many people, it's gotta stop it.
Iron, you're thinking too high class. I'm thinking Tijuana. Uh,
I will go to Mexico and turn into El Gaucho. Oh my God. Well,
Right.
I mean,
For what's right. For love. My paws are a cry for justice. My dick veins are a cry of passion. I am El Gaucho.
never gets old, never will
tired
get
of
old.
So good.
So chemical plant explosion. He discovers his transformation as he accidentally kills a prostitute. Already more likable than Todd. Horrified and stricken with guilt, he plans to commit suicide. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So when Matt Hagen first turns into the walking turd, he shoots himself, and then he realizes that he's invulnerable to bullets, and that's when he decides to become a criminal. That's
well, that's what you do when you figure out that you're impervious to bullets. It's like that's just your normal career path at that point.
yeah.
I mean,
it sounds like you
I
either
got
go one way or
okay.
the other.
I know you're joking, but I kind of gotta actually agree with that statement.
Yeah, I
It's like, well, fuck. What am I gonna do now? I can't get. Wait a minute.
Yeah, prison bars can't hold me. And
bullets do
can't.
nothing.
I pretty much got the ultimate hall pass.
I gotta make a little snot. I can turn into anyone. And
then I'm gonna go by the name Todd.
yeah. Before he can do so, Hush he's approached by Hush and the Riddler to tell him that the chemicals turned him into the latest Clayface, and they begin to manipulate Williams, promising a cure if he does their bidding. This includes pretending to be Tommy Elliott, Hush's true identity, and Jason Todd.
Dead puppies. Dead puppies. Dead puppies aren't much fun.
But that is quite the revelation there. So the Jason Todd Hush that we see, or the resurrected Jason Todd that we see, we knew it was Clayface. It's not Clayface Prime. It's this Clayface. It's this Clayface at the end of Hush. So let's see where this goes. Elliot taking some samples from Williams and determine how he can duplicate the shape-shifting aspects of Clayface without losing his original form. Because we should explain, Thomas Elliot has this obsession with looking just like Bruce Wayne and stealing his identity. So instead of getting a bunch of like modifying like surgeries, it would be much easier if you just had Clayface's power. That would
How
be
homoerotic.
really kind of is.
Must have been your lifelong ambition.
Yeah.
No,
That's the Batman lore for you. There's a
I just
little
want
bit of that
ads again.
sprinkled in.
Okay, so he shapeshifting without losing his original form. He also uses samples to infect Batman's ally, Alfred Pennyworth, with a virus that allows Hush to exert some degree of control over him, forcing him to commit murder. Eventually, Williams realizes he is being manipulated, and Hush will never help him. Hush tries to steal a sample from Cassius, which we all know is named
Cassius Clay.
Yes, which I don't know if you guys know this is the birth name of Muhammad Ali. Knowing he is going to die, Williams offers Batman assistance against Hush in exchange for protecting his family. He has redeemed himself by providing Batman with a sample of himself so that Batman can find a cure for the virus infecting Alfred. Okay, We got 8 down. So now we're going to have to scroll all the way back up and talk about the shit that we missed with Basil Carlo. But in order to understand any of that, we had to kind of read the other stuff.
Everybody else is in.
Yeah. Like I said, Matt Hagen, they must just like the name, but the guy's kind of a wet turd. The only thing he's really responsible is he's the first Clayface with actual shape-shifting abilities, and he makes he helps create Preston Payne, which is a much better version if you were going to update Clayface, which is Clayface 3, because then we get the lovely story about the mannequin, and which they kind of gloss over, by the way, but Heather, first reoccurring mannequin character in comics ever. Maybe.
Can see it.
Okay.
Must have been an art piece.
That's the mud pack. So he goes and let me find this real quick. So while I'm doing this, why don't we discuss what we've taken in so far, boys? Anyone got a
all of the Clayface, most of the Clayfaces appear to have an affinity for prostitutes and ending their lives. Let's see. An obsession with inanimate objects. Let's see what else.
So you can relate.
Impervious to bullets. I'm ignoring that comment. Well, one's only one was obsessed with an art piece. So now, I know what it definitely seems like a character that they never could really figure out what they want to do with it. That's why there's so many different iterations of it that there's no consistency. Instead of just trying to either retcon or just rehash the same character, they just came up with a new one and go, let's try this and see if this works.
Oh yeah, I found
that didn't work. Let's try this one. Well, you want to Rev 6 is gonna work. Well, nope. Now we're going to Rev 7.
Yeah, it's like they wanted to keep the base name Clayface, but they kept recreating the character. And again, I know I always go to this, but Batman the Animated Series, by just
hand signals,
best qualities of each one.
Yeah.
And putting them all into one character seemed to be the best iteration. I know we'll get to that, but I always go to the enemies. Sorry.
I found that cover. Let's share this instead. Zoom. And that's the Mr. Freeze Clayface cover. It's dope. It's dope. But that's when Clayface Prime gets like the burning powers, and then they're fighting over Mr. Freeze, and obviously they would always do this. They would throw like the Keaton Batman costume on the cover, but then like it would be like the regular like comic book accurate costume, and it was just like, what? Why you gotta do that?
Unnecessary.
Right. Well, it's not unnecessary. It's like blue balls. Like, and sometimes they would have like a regular looking car, and then he would have like the Keaton costume, and you're just like, I guess in the comics he's got so many costumes, but So yeah, he goes down. He gets the mud pack together. Clayface 3 and Clayface 4, they fall in love. They have Clayface 5. And then there's a big earthquake in Gotham City, and Clayface can't take it, and he sinks down. He goes down to the ground, and he gets stuck down there, and then he kind of reemerges. Oh, and we already talked about that. He absorbs Wonder Woman because in that continuity, Wonder Woman was made of clay. and isn't a demigod. She is clay brought to life by Hippolyta. So now we get into the New 52. And as much as I hate the New 52, New 52 Clayface kind of gets a glow up here. And he's one of the few characters where it's actually kind of cool what they do with Clayface.
That's what I was going to say. It's like this is one of the rare occurrences in the New 52 that they actually did okay with compared to the other ones we've seen so far.
Oh, yeah, like I said, very few and far between. But it's also a character where we've talked about, like, they either just wanted to keep the name, the continuity's really messy. This character really needed a reboot like nobody's business. And it's so strange because it's one of those few reboots where even though like there's 8 of them, let's say 4 of them died, there's still 4 other iterations of Clayface like still walking around. And I guess Matt Hagen's alive again too. So in 2011, the New 52 rebooted. The DC universe, his origin is given in the Batman The Dark Knight storyline, Clay. As a child, Basil Carlo came from a poor family. Still, they were able to afford the necessities, all the necessities. Carlo, despite desperate to become noticed, decided to join his school acting program, but he's repeatedly turned down. The one thing that I remember them really trying to hammer down is like he's unnotable. Like there's nothing about him that stands out. So he's repeatedly turned down. As Carlo grew up, he joined more and more acting programs. He kept getting denied. One day, Carlo heard from a fellow actor, Penguin had access to a chemical formula that could make anyone a great actor. Carlo sought out the Penguin, and finding him, he used the formula exceedingly. Penguin handed over the formula as he had no use for it. Carlo learned he could become malleable. Soon he was a successful actor, appearing in horror and romance films frequently. But soon the Penguin was losing money due to a gang war and called upon Carlo to give it to him. Turning to crime, Carlo became a killer and slowly lost his sanity. When he decided to become an actor again, he lashed out at a cast member and was fired. He then realized he had swapped DNA too much to hold his general form together and became a massive clay creature, as one does, able to imitate any and all features except for his own, which
swapping will always get to you eventually, some way.
Well, see, that's something that I think is very important, and some characters have it. Matt Hagen had it. Carlo originally didn't have it because it was just costumes. But the thing of was like, you could turn into anything, but you can't turn back into yourself because you start to forget what yourself is. And it's this whole thing about identity, and that's where we really get into how he's kind of a reflection of Batman. Is Batman Bruce Wayne, or is he the Dark Knight? Is he both?
Is he neither? Almost to the point, is he neither? Or has he just completely, the actual true identity of Bruce Wayne now is just completely gone?
Absolutely.
Because the cover of the act of Bruce Wayne compared to the Cape Crusader of Batman, is there actually an actual individual that remains?
Is there a mudslab in your cave? That sounds a little dirty. It's from Jacob Ironside. We're going to be celebrating Jacob's birthday this week, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with him. My good friend and buddy. Jacob did all my artwork for me. And when I was first getting started, and he's one of the nicest guys on YouTube. So everyone say hi to Jacob. Also, just a reminder, guys, I am 4 likes away from hitting 400. So if we could share out the stream, get more eyes on the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. But like I said, he swapped DNA too much to hold his general form together. He becomes a massive clay mountain. He's able to imitate features except his own. And as part of the death of the family storyline, which is it's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Poison Ivy breaks Basil Carlo from Arkham Asylum, claiming she wants to marry him. This turns out to be a ruse. And anyone who's dealt with Poison Ivy, if you are a member of the Rogues Gallery, you should kind of realize that when Poison Ivy's getting sweet on you, it's a ruse. Okay, she loves nothing but plants.
And
she liked me,
and sometimes
She
Harley
liked
Quinn.
me.
Okay, and for some reason that works because it was like, oh,
And that's why I went back to the art pieces.
yep. So it's a ruse. However, Ivy is using him as a part of a larger scheme. Upon realizing this, he seeks revenge. Carlo later returns with a new plan to use his DNA duplication abilities to impersonate Bruce Wayne and take control of Wayne Enterprises. Bold strategy, Carlo. Let's see how that pays off. That's another thing that I love is when people like, you know, obviously we have the gift of being the readers and 80 years of accumulated knowledge where, you know, it was like we always operate under the knowledge that Bruce Wayne is Batman. A lot of these people are just like, yeah, I'll just take over that like lunkhead Bruce Wayne's thing. That should be easy. Little do they know, like, you know, he's one of the best minds in DC. He even guessed that Wayne is Batman's true identity. So, oh shit, I was completely wrong. Very bold strategy. However, Batman plants false evidence to suggest that he anticipated Carlo's he anticipated Carlo's attempt to take his DNA and tricked him into taking a fake sample. And he's like, ha ha ha, joke's on you, it's Alfred. Or it's just like Ace the Bat Dog. I don't know whose DNA he used, but he used false DNA. Batman eventually stops Carlo by trapping him in a security system that can only be deactivated with Carlo's original DNA, reasoning that he has changed too much for his original DNA to be present in his system, which is pretty badass.
Well, because it's no longer just taking the form; it's actually replicating the DNA to actually make the other forms. So.
Okay, but I do have a question. Where did he get Carlo's original DNA?
I wanted to ask that.
I don't know. Unless there's an unspoken a sample was taken before he started doing all the shifting.
Or he like went to like an old movie set and he found like a costume and there was a hair on it. You know, there's plenty of ways to do it, but I'm saying it was like it's a little jank. Mage Wolf, thanks for dropping in, brother. So in 2016, DC Comics implemented the relaunch of its books called DC Rebirth, which restored its continuity form much as to prior the New 52. Basil Carlo is again re-imaged as a handsome young actor who was disfigured in a car accident. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yep.
It sounds like Matt Hagen in the animated series. So, and obviously that's probably what we are going to be getting for the upcoming Clayface movie.
Yeah.
Which I was looking at that today, and we'll talk about it later. They cast a guy that they should probably cast as John Constantine. The guy looks just like John Constantine.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of those images. Anyway.
We got it. Drunken, what would I do without you?
Oh, I'll pull it up. Okay.
Oh, I thought you.
No. I know when I was looking for all of the other images, I ran across it, but I can get it.
Either way, when you got it, just let me know.
Yep.
So he's a handsome young bloke, and he gets into a car accident. His face all messed up. He's like, "Oh my god, my face! What am I going to do?" Despite the bid to salvage his career, he began abusing an industrial makeup chemical known as Renew, which I believe is the same chemical in Batman the Animated Series. I might be wrong about that. When combined with clay and putty, warps flesh into new shapes and forms, and the secret is discovered from his father, Vincent Carlo, a former special effects artist. There, let's remove that, add that. Yeah, just put that dude in a trench coat.
He's a little thin for Constantine.
No, dude, he's supposed to. Constantine is supposed to look like Sting in the Police. You
Well,
put a little 5 o'clock shadow on
Billy.
him.
I always thought more Billy Idol, but yeah.
Either way,
Sting
also a skinny little twink.
yeah.
They're both skinny little blonde boys.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I might have to see some more pictures. He's a little too twinky.
He's dialed up here. Okay, so you know that's the thing where I had this conversation with my wife the other day. We were talking about like certain actors.
Okay, here's a better one. I'm sharing. Here's a different image of him not dialed up.
Which I am hitting. Oh, damn it.
Okay, yeah. Now, okay, seeing that like a little more.
Just put 5 o'clock shadow on him,
femboy. Yeah, he could probably rock Constantine. We had the perfect Constantine.
We did.
But Matt Smith would be another great choice. And I still don't hate Keanu. He's not British or blonde, but
yeah. I mean, let's face it.
Rick points out a really good point. He's not femme. He's British.
Yeah, well, I mean, Constantine is kind of like sexually
ambiguous.
Yeah. Anyway,
to be nice about it.
I'm not gay. I'm British.
Yeah, that's American talk.
Now, how about some toast and beans? Is breakfast?
Yes. I mean,
followed by vigorous butt sex.
How's your Big Ben, chap? Stiff upper lip. All right.
Totally not gay. I'm British.
Yeah. One day I want to like sit down and like figure out like where all the British accents come from. Like, where there's someone who talks like Winston Churchill, like go around and then like, oh, I'm terribly sorry. I was like, no, dude, that's not. You can't all have all those accents in one city.
Hit up Jack Tarlad.
Yeah,
because I've actually talked to him. he's raked me over the coals for my shitty British accent. He's like, it's so many horribly done dialects at once that it just sounds like retarded.
Yeah, no.
And ask to hear his Mirren.
All right. We got to keep going here. All right. Because we have yet to get into other media, and that's going to be so a special effects guy who's like the chemical is long out of production, and Carlo resorts to theft because he can no longer purchase it legally. Batman apprehends him during one such robbery and reveals his secret to the world. Carlo's career is ruined. Yeah, that is something. Batman can be kind of a dick sometimes. Normally you would think like he would like try to help you, especially knowing that this guy's entire career like relies on his face, and was like, hey, listen, like you can't keep stealing, but like I took a piece of this chemical and I analyzed it. This is how you can make it, or I will make it for you because I have the means to do so. But this guy was also like killing for the Penguin, so I don't think he's gonna get any respect from Bruce on this. So yeah, I guess you kind of got to get your comeuppance, and Batman don't care. Batman don't like when you kill people, and so he exposed it. And his career is ruined. His girlfriend, Glory Griffin, which is a great comic book female name, she dumps him. Batman attempts to get Carlo to testify against creator of Renew, Roland Daggett, which I believe Roland Daggett is a character specific to the animated series. So but he refuses. Instead, he attempts to break into the warehouse where the police are holding the stolen stash of Renew. He is exposed to a massive dose of the chemical. In the process, he is transformed into a clay-like metahuman. Driven mad, he rampages on the set of the film where he was fired from. Batman attempts to evacuate the set, but Clayface flings him off into the distance and begins massacring everyone on sight. Which I kind of like. Clayface, if anything, should be extremely formidable when he goes on like on a tangent here. Like when he goes out on like a berserker rage, I mean, there should just be like spikes and wrecking balls and just like any old thing like flying at you. It should be kind of like similar to like Carnage. Right, like although much bigger. Yeah, he should be in Spider-Man terms. He should be like the Rhino meets Carnage. That just and a little bit of Sandman in there. You can throw Sandman in there as well, but there should be. There's that aspect that he's insane. Sandman, I wouldn't say is insane. So he's massacring everyone on sight, and as an added bit of revenge, Clayface disfigures Glory, which, I get it. It's kind of a bitch move, but we're talking about actors here, who is working on a film as a production assistant. Before Batman apprehends him, the incident leads to Glory to become Mudface of the victim syndicate. Okay.
Remember that, yeah.
In 2016, Night of the Monster Men. Anybody know the significance of that title?
No.
Okay, well, it is it's already a title that's been used, but it was in an early issue of Batman. And it's the same villain, Hugo Strange. He is a he is a serum that transforms living and the dead into beings into monsters, and it's essentially the same thing, but it's like a total reboot. And Hugo Strange has been around since 1940. So actually, Hugo Strange is, I believe, only a month or two older than Clayface's original thing. So let's see if I'm correct on this. There's strange apparitions. Oh my God, Dr. Phosphorus.
Wow.
Either way. And also, another thing too, and Clayface is in this. So there was a novel that came out last year. I think it was Batman. It was so there was comic books that was a continuation of the 89 Batman movie. And I think it's supposed to be it's either just after Batman 89. It might be after Batman. I think was it Batman Resurrection? Yeah, Batman Resurrection. Batman Resurrection is a superhero novel written by John Jackson Miller. It is a novel set in the Tim Burton's Batman film series, taking place in between Batman and Batman Returns. So the bad guy is Hugo Strange, or is CLAYFACE, but CLAYFACE gets his powers from a mutation from what the Smilex compound that the Joker was.
I think I
putting
have
in.
that over here.
Yeah, no, I read it. The new one just came out, and it's supposed to have the Riddler, and it's supposed to be a lot more true to the original thing. But also, the mastermind behind everything was Hugo Strange, and Hugo Strange, basically uses his concept of the Monster Men. So the Monster Men is something that's been part of the Batman mythos for quite some time. And yeah, so this came out October 15th of 2024. I think I read the whole thing like the day that it dropped. I didn't I didn't read it all in one sitting, but I probably read it within the first 3 days of buying it. And there's a lot of stuff that really stood out to me as someone who cared about not only maintaining the Tim Burton universe, but someone who had done their due diligence on these comics. So, but either way, the Monster Men, and hey, now we're gonna figure out another thing that we had talked about for quite some time, but we said that it was self-explanatory, but we're gonna get the background on it now. So, he turns living and dead human beings into monsters. Batman initially suspects Carlo, who is broken out of Arkham Asylum, and realizing Carlo needs treatment more than imprisonment, Batman asks him to join his team. Carlo agrees, and he starts working with Batman, Nightwing, Batwoman, Orphan, Spoiler, to defeat Strange's monsters. The government agency Argus, which they're all over the place, creates a quarantine zone encompassing a neighborhood where the creature died, nicknaming it Monster Town. I can't remember what issue or what episode that we were talking about, but Monster Town was indeed who is Spoiler?
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler is Stephanie Brown. That's a I'm sorry. Stephanie Brown is was basically Tim Drake's girlfriend forever.
Yeah.
That's how I know her. But
Spoiler is that jerk that ruins an entire movie for you.
Yes.
That's who Spoiler is.
And also great costume. It's like a mixture between like Huntress and no, if anything, it was close to like Huntress and Nightwing. But either way, she's a cool character. You should look up Stephanie Brown, Rick. So we figured out what Monster Town is. So that's where we get into something interesting. Now CLAYFACE is trying to redeem himself, and he's now starting to work on the side of good. So that's an interesting place for this character to go.
I actually read this. It was actually pretty good. The interactions were great.
Yeah, no, well, but it's also like one of those things. It's like whenever a villain tries to make the convert, so to speak, there's certain things. They take certain actions that might be a little bit overboard. Certain characters don't believe in them the full time. Certain characters you kind of got to win over. Certain characters still don't think they're ever going to change. But like at this point, he's killed mountains of people. Like he is a monster.
Yeah.
So Man, these glasses are. I gotta find Old Faithful. Where are you? There we are. Much better. But where did we go? The main thing is he wants to be cured. But I just think it's interesting that they're trying to redeem this character because it's not a character that you would think would be redeemable. And he also, now you see in Infinite Frontier, Basil Karlo is bringing in Killer Croc, Firefly, Cheshire, and Knockout as potential allies seeking a second chance. So he's now kind of becoming like an ambassador to bring them in. So pretty interesting turn. But I think we got it covered. Obviously, Basil Karlo is the end all, say all. They even call him Clayface Prime now because there's been so many crazy iterations of the character. There is that Matt Hagen confusion. But like I said, when you look at Matt Hagen, look at all the other ones and then look at Matt Hagen's. Like, it is 2 solid paragraphs and then a couple of bullet points. Not a lot to the character. But I think now we can get into... Shut that dog up. I'm trying to do a fucking show. I'm sorry. I just get really... It actually might have been my dog. I don't know. Powers and abilities... Clown face. We have alternate versions. Let's see if there's any notable one. Basil Karlo, incarnation of Clayface, and amalgamated with Rocksteady, makes a cameo, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, Gotham by Gaslight. An inspired incarnation of Clayface. Okay, so nothing really. Let's go into other media. Live action. The Matt Hagen incarnation appears. Oh, no, he doesn't. The live incarnation of Clayface appears in the opening of Batman 66, but was replaced with Falseface, who there is a character named Falseface, but again, I'll try to find it in the Batman opening. In the Batman opening, they have Clayface. They might have another character like that, but and how could it be portrayed by anybody? It's an animated opening. I'm confused by this. Am I reading this wrong? The Matt Hagen incarnation of Clayface appears in the opening credits of Batman 1966, but was replaced with Falseface, portrayed by Mackie Thorne. There's nothing to portray. It's an animated. There's no talking in the beginning. There's just the Batman theme song.
Confused.
I'm gonna type in Clayface Batman images. No, there's no way that's correct. Yeah, they're trying to say open. Open up. Oh, Christ, we're on Pinterest. Where are you?
Thing is if they sit here and do Clayface in live action, with the live action, the one thing that I'm afraid they're going to do is kind of make something like The Thing, make them look like The Thing, with it all cracked and stuff like that, not smoother, and just to try to make it seem like it. It's like, no, it's not exactly. I mean, Clayface would be more of a smoother anyway. It's not all cracked and everything else.
No, he'd be.
I mean,
that's the one thing that I'm worried about is it's going to look like a just like a pile of mud. Yeah, they're talking about the Adam West show. I'm sorry to come to a complete halt here, but like I just think this is completely incorrect. Okay, 1966 Batman opening Clayface. Okay. Someone is trying to argue that this.
that's Clayface.
Yes. I don't know.
What's the guy with the white hood doing? What's that about?
That's I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, of course you bring that image up. Wow.
That's just a big old my bad. Okay. There is one. Let's see. And this is the character that they're talking about. False Face. We got to be specific here, guys. Shut up, Rick. So that's False Face right there. Who they're trying to basically. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is essentially kind of the same character as the original Clayface, but there's also someone in the very beginning who looks that I always thought was the original Clayface in this opening. Either way, I kind of disagree with that, and that kind of just threw me off because I was always on the impression the original Clayface is on there. He just in the very beginning. They kind of it kind of goes through like a line. Let's see if I can just type it. I'll just type an opening without Clayface. Yeah, so it kind of there's kind of like a pan. You can see they have this thing where it kind of scrolls through all of them. All right, I must be losing it. If they said they change Clayface out with anyone, if I was going to change anything out, it probably that guy. That was probably a dude that I would change out, but maybe that's why I'm not in show business. Okay, that completely threw me through a loop. Okay. The Cassius Payne incarnation of Clayface appears in Birds of Prey. as we know, is the short-lived 2002 series in A Feat of Clay, which I also believe is the same title as the first Clayface episode on the animated series. The version is a sculptor who was inspired by other people's pain, gains his power from a special formula created specifically for him by a crooked scientist. Sometime prior to the series, Payne is hired by the Joker to kill Catwoman and was defeated and imprisoned by Arkham Asylum. That's a problem that I have with a lot of these series like this is like Gotham does it sometimes. Smallville did it a lot, where you're trying to make these like almost like X-Files iterations. So I always tell people like Smallville and X-Files are essentially the same show. It's the same show. Buffy the Vampire and Smallville are essentially the same show. It's just Clark is Buffy in Smallville. And it was just you have this weekly adventure that they go on, and instead of like a vampire slayer, it's young Superman, and they're fighting sometimes early iterations of comic book characters or one-shot villains. But sometimes to make it fit that universe, you get these backstories on these characters, which is so damn convoluted. Yeah, well, we're gonna be wrapping up here anyway, bud. We're on the final. But it would almost just be easier to tell this story. But Cassius Payne, on the other hand, who is already the son and daughter of two other iterations of Clayface, that one might be a difficult thing to add in a half hour. But this is how he looked in Birds of Prey, which kind of should kind of be how Matt Hagen looks in the original like 60s. Like I said, like a turd that came to life, or a very bad looking version of Ben Grimm. But Payne was hired by the Joker to kill Catwoman, but was defeated and imprisoned in Arkham Asylum. In the present, his son Chris Cassius takes the formula for himself and gains the ability to turn people into clay. Upon learning what happens, Payne breaks out of Arkham Asylum to stop him, despite running afoul of the Birds of Prey. Chris eventually is defeated by Helena Kyle, while Payne turns himself in. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, that show is really underrated. I enjoyed the shit out of that show.
You know what? We always say that when it comes up, and I'm gonna say for early 2000, that makeup of Clayface was not bad at all.
Not at all.
Okay, Basil Carlo appears in Gotham, portrayed by Brian McManaman, which is my cousin's name. Only off by a letter, which is odd to me, so I don't remember him being in Gotham. This version is a deceased actor who was revived by Hugo Strange and Ethel Peabody using octopus DNA, which gave him the ability to alter his face however or to resemble anyone he wants. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Wouldn't it just be easier, instead of making him a deceased actor, just an actor?
Yeah.
They can't get it right. The animated series is the only one that can get it right.
Yep.
Okay. In the third season of Pennyworth, which I've never seen an episode, I don't know if it was good or if it was bad.
Mixed. It had a lot of positive qualities and a lot of negative.
I'm always against stories like this, and also thank you, Rick. So the an original incarnation of Clayface appears in the third season of Pennyworth, portrayed by Lorraine Burroughs. Lorraine. Okay. This version is a PWE.
Calvin.
an enhanced being who can alter her appearance to perfectly mimic someone else's. She poses as Virginia Review, friend of the channel, the Dara Review. A high-ranking CIA official who travels with Patrick Wayne to England. Throughout her appearances, she has assumed the identities of Mary Pennyworth, played by Dorothy Ackerson, and Martha Wayne, portrayed by Emma Pates. All right, let's get into the good shit. Animation. The Matt Hagen incarnation of Batman appears in The New Adventures of Batman. Oh, okay. I've never seen this.
I didn't know about that.
I'm gonna look this up as soon as the show is done. But in The New Adventures of Batman, voiced by Lou Scheimer, the two incarnations of Clayface appear in The Batman. Oh yeah, okay. The Batman.
Mhm.
Yeah, originally it's his buddy. It's Bruce Wayne's buddy. He's a detective. And also a character that was race swapped, but like it didn't matter because it was an original incarnation of the character, and it worked because it was Bruce's friend. And like, but there was I think that's the first time that we saw that Clayface might be able to be like redeemable or a good guy. Didn't mind it. I actually enjoyed the Batman quite a bit. The only thing that we really didn't like, and I know we've talked about this multiple times, is Parkour Joker. You can totally miss me with that shit. I'm fine, but
Now, here's the thing, man. I'll give the voice actor is fine. I like the gravelly, deep Joker voice. It's the aesthetic. It's
it's
like
the overalls,
design.
doing parkour barefoot. Also, parkour barefoot is bullshit. Okay, like that's
You put that voice on the design from Young Justice Joker, we're fine. We're fucking
just give
fine.
him shoes and cut out his fucking dreads, and even his dreads had like this candy cane design. It looked dumb, and it was very much a product of its time. And, everybody was drawn. They look like it's like Scooby-Doo, where everyone's wearing like fucking bell bottoms. Like it's fucking weird. Okay, like, but I liked this version of Clayface simply because like it was a good dude who got turned into a monster. And is the monster going to take over, or is it going to be, who's Bruce's friend? Bruce knows who he is. So, like, it's great. And then they do another thing. You get Bennett gets reinstated and becomes chief of police. Well, it was like you got a happy ending. Basil Carlo in Clayface's the Batman and Superman story, an untalented actor. But what is the Batman Superman story? He's an untalented actor who breaks into Wayne Enterprises and drinks a refined Joker putty. So this is the other one in the Batman, I guess. That's fine. Whatever. That's quick setup 101. Guy breaks into a lab, drinks a potion. There you go. A portrait of Preston Payne incarnation of Clayface appears in Batman the Brave and the Bold episode Joker, Vile and Villainous. The Matt Hagen incarnation of Clayface appears in Young Justice. And also, Emerald, if you got to bounce, just bounce, bud.
Oh, yeah, in a little bit.
I got it. I actually got
I
to bounce
does
too.
have
I'm
to.
sorry, dude. Yeah. I don't want to hold you too long. But hey, thanks for having me. I'll catch you later, though, okay?
Yeah, take it easy, buddy. Thanks for coming on. You're welcome anytime. Usually we don't run this long, but God, did we have a lot of ground to cover.
There were 8 versions. I get it, man. It's all good. I'll check you later.
Take it easy, buddy.
Easy.
All right. We're skipping Harley Quinn. We're skipping Kite Man. I didn't watch Suicide Squad. Siki. Okay. Basil Carlo incarnation of Clayface appears in Batman the Cape Crusader, which I said there's a lot of things to dislike about that series. This was probably the best episode in the series for me because it was pretty much just a animated retelling of Clayface's first appearance. And it was pretty tit for tat. That was the story. It's called To Be a Villain, voiced by Dan Donahue. This version was a typecast. Was typecast as villains to his unique appearance, leading him to use an experimental serum to alter his face. After being rejected, he adopts a disfigured appearance and he starts murdering his co-stars. And Batman figures out it's like it's a dude who can change his face, although they give him slight face altering powers. It'd be no different than like a master of disguise, and he's killing people on a movie set. That's pretty much a true depiction of the iteration of the character. Let's get to the GOAT. And so much is referenced here. And it was like, yeah, so that episode that he's used in Birds of Play is called The Feet of Clay. First appearing in Batman the Animated Series episode, A Feet of Clay. This version is an actor who is previously disfigured in a car accident. Corrupt businessman Roland Daggett gives him renew. So they just took out an extra U. A beauty cream that restores his face and enables him to change that into another person's and proves effectively and the effects prove temporary and addictive. Daggett hires Hayden to aid him in his criminal activities in exchange for more renew, but Hagen eventually refuses to cooperate, leading Daggett's men to force feed him a large quantity of renew that transforms him into Clayface. Following a failed attempt on Daggett's life, being defeated by Batman, Hagen goes into hiding. In the episode Mudslide, Hagen steals an isotope from Wayne Biomedical Labs to stabilize himself when his body begins to deteriorate. Before seeing Stella Bates, a former medical advisor on one of his films, who fell in love with him. Hagen is nearly restored, but Batman finds them and aborts the treatment in the ensuing fight.
Okay, that's the worst episode of Batman the Animated Series because it's so against everything Batman would actually do. He stops him from curing himself, even though he stole from him.
Yeah, no, that is a very anti-Bruce thing. Now, if it would be like, hey, we only have one of these and we're using this for cancer research, or there wasn't a big enough reason to not let him have it.
No, not at all. You could let him heal himself and then throw him in jail afterwards. That would be more Batman than anything else. It was, that episode pissed me off as a kid, pisses me off to this day. It was the only bad episode of the entire
things that I talk about too is he's often regarded as a sympathetic character. Most of people my age were introduced to him by this, and his score in that show, like that da 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 da. Yeah, nah, nah. Like it's very sympathetic, and you're also kind of going like, I kind of think Batman's being a dick here. Like I don't.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
And also, it just gives him reason to just like hate him more. Like even if he was walking around, and yes, people do make the comparison that the body that he picks very much looks like the Academy Award Oscar design. There's a lot of good character like persons that I have no idea why he didn't just let him have this. If anything, he's easier to lock up. So Hagen
it was
returns. Yeah,
bad episode all the way around.
Hagen returns in the new Batman Adventures, following a minor appearance in the pilot episode Holiday Nights, the episode Growing Pain, it reveals that after falling into the ocean, his remains drifted near a pipe, leaking chemicals into the ocean, restoring some of his strength. While recovering, he sent a portion of himself disguised as a little girl named Annie away to see if it was safe for him to resurface. She develops her own personality and encounters Robin, who falls in love with her. Hagen eventually poses as Annie's abusive father while committing robberies to make a living before recovering and cornering Robin and Annie, with the latter allowing herself to be reabsorbed to save him. An enraged Robin nearly kills Hagen, but Batman intervenes, and Hagen is subsequently arrested and imprisoned. And yes, like you said, what happens in the last episode almost dulls that, because it was like, dude, you obviously don't give a shit about this guy. It was like, no, don't kill him. But it was like, his whole body was like destabilizing in the last episode, and he found a cure, and you're like, nah.
No, fuck you.
Yeah. Hagen,
You're a criminal, just melt.
Yeah, hopefully there's a pipe down there to collect all of you in the sea. Hagen appears in Justice League, a 2-part episode, Secret Society, sometime prior to the series. Morgan Edge captured Hagen until Gorilla Grodd's Secret Society freed him and added them to their ranks. Having grown less aggressive and psychopathic, he initially is reluctant to join them until Grodd promises to help Hagen restore him his human form while maintaining his shape-shifting powers. However, he and the society were defeated. Like, dude, all this guy, it's like the most tragic part about the animated series is like all this guy wants to do is just kind of like be back to normal. He didn't ask to be like a giant clay monster, nothing like that. I'd be remiss if we don't talk about the where's the Arkham series?
Sorry, I'm muted. I was about to say, they did sympathetic characters in the animated series so well.
Yes, they did.
That was their only misstep, was that one episode, because it played Batman and Bruce totally out of character.
Agreed. And I think this is a good place to end it. We should probably always end it with the animated series. But yeah, guys, this was a long, convoluted one, and StreamYard was not being my friend in the very beginning, which I'll have to talk to you guys about that backstage, because like I have no idea what was going on with that earlier.
You overused the zoom and enhance, and they didn't like that.
Apparently, no, but it was more. It was, I added something to the stage and then added you guys and then Left Eye, and that took up like half the screen, where it was like, hey, these are the guys on your panel, and then the screen was like this big, and I was like, I can't even function. But that doesn't matter. We don't have to do that. All in all, I would say that Clayface is probably we're talking about him for spooky season. Well, he's the ultimate trick-or-treater, and he is one of my favorite characters. There's a lot of potential to him, and I like that his character, even though it has many messy beginnings, he is, but we're not going to talk about the Harlequin show, because thank you, Rick. There's, as funny as Clayface is in that show, there's so many problems with the Harlequin show. But either way, he is, for lack of a pun, he's malleable. He's a good character. The problem is they didn't know what to do with him. They thought the name was cool, and there were so many iterations of him that by the time that they got to the first retcon, it was a huge mess. They decided to keep too many characters with that moniker when they could have just used it to combine it all. When they decided to just go with Basil going to be it, And then it got even more convoluted when most of the live action or animated adaptations decided to keep the Matt Hagen moniker, which makes it even more confusing. I'm pretty sure that even now, when they're doing the 2026 Clayface movie, they're using Matt Hagen. And I think the reason that they're doing so is Matt Hagen is a much more believable modern name than Basil Carlo. But like, if that's the only reason, you're just confusing fans more on a character that when you go to the comics, it's always going to be Basil Carlo as Clayface 1. It's a golden age character, like it's who's been around, and you guys have keep trying to resurrect. It doesn't need any resurrection. And it was like all you had to do after you realized the success of Matt Hagen, which even still, out of all of the Clayfaces, besides I think Clayface number 6, had probably the shortest description of 8 Clayfaces. That's the name you decide to pick. It's just poor design. So, like it or not, the character's name is Basil Carlo. They've gone so much to call him Clayface Prime. Now, I like the idea of what's his name, Preston Payne. Preston Payne is a great name. That's a good comic name. You got alliteration, things like that. That's something that that you can capitalize on. There's also the hyperpituitarism. Like that's a great someone trying to already cure themselves. There's so many ideas on this where this character is redeemable. That's I think why I like Preston Payne so much, where it was just like this man is trying to cure himself. He disfigures himself and then he loses his mind. He doesn't go on a rampage. He holds himself up with a mannequin, and he only attacks Batman because he thought Batman was like cheating on his mannequin, like he was trying to like steal away Heather. Everything else, of course, there was going to be a female iteration of the character. Something rare is when you have a third iteration of the character mate with the fourth iteration of the character that happens to be female, and then you get the fifth iteration of the character, and they still decide to go with the golden age iteration of the character, and without retconning them, just give him all the power and going like, okay, when they say Clayface, we still mean Basil Carlo, but all this other convoluted shit exists.
Rick, it's not a mannequin. It is a art piece.
Art piece.
But like I said, I know it sounds like a lot, and I know it sounds crazy. That's what we went over today. I don't think I would like to thank Wikipedia for being able to like let me scroll back and forth. I would like to take a shit on StreamYard today, but you're always going to make my life hard, even though I pay you money on a monthly basis. But guys, last thoughts about the character, and then we can move on and call it a Saturday.
Still a character that's got a lot of potential that they could do quite a bit with. I'm fearful of any kind of live action they do with it. Like I said earlier, kind of making him look more like Thing than actual, or just making a human turd. Odd who they're picking and they're talking about making for the live action, but overall, you definitely a character that seems like they wanted to keep the moniker, and it almost an example of like a mantle that they just kept shifting to a different character that they wanted to try out and just could not figure out.
Great points. I agree 100%. My takeaway is I think, like the animated series did, taking the best things of all of the iterations and putting it into one is the best approach. I would also simplify the character. He doesn't need to be a big, unstoppable mud monster.
Yeah.
Giving him like limited abilities with some like, maybe some stretchy mud things here and there, not being a colossus, unstoppable mud beast, but making him a guy that can fucking change his face into anyone. Basically a shapeshifter with a little enhanced abilities. Keep it grounded as possible would be the best approach, and take everything, whether it's Basil, who, by the way, I didn't get, I was having some mic issues. The original iteration of Clayface was based on Lon Chaney.
Yeah, Lon Chaney, and then he got the name from Basil Rathbone, who played Sherlock Holmes, and then Boris Karloff, who played. But the idea was Lon Chaney, because at the time, Lon Chaney was the master of disguise. When Phantom of the Opera came out, they actually had a disclaimer saying pregnant women shouldn't see this movie, because when the Phantom takes his mask off, it's going to be so shocking. Disturbing. Yes, that you might start giving birth in the middle of the theater.
And you got to realize that was actually a real concern back then.
Oh yeah,
that was some serious shit. Like that was Silence of the Lambs back then. That was The Exorcist.
Oh yeah. To this day, it's actually one of my favorite endings in anything, is when the crowd surrounds Eric and he puts his hand up like this, and everybody like steps back, and he's like, you got me.
And he starts laughing.
Yeah, and it was just like, no. It was like, it looks scary though. But it was like, no, you actually have me cornered, and you guys are probably gonna kill me. But I just wanted one more thing before I go. It's great.
So good.
It's masterful. And and then of course you had Lon Chaney Jr., who I guess had an underbite, and they were just like, you would make a perfect werewolf.
And he did.
Yeah, he did. But so you have these characters. You have this character who is very much kind of a reflection of old Hollywood. There's so many movies and stories about show business and what a brutal, business that is, and how hard it is, the effect, the psychological effect that it has on people. There's countless stories where like two friends get into show business, and one gets really famous and he leaves the other one behind. And then, he meets the other one, and the other one, had like a normal life and wife and kids. And, he's like, oh my God, I've lost myself. I'm not that little boy from Kansas anymore. I'm a completely different. There's all that bullshit. We've seen it countless times. That's a reflection of that. And that's fine that this is that type of character. And having someone who wants to be a starving artist actor, there's something immediately there's something pitiful about that to begin with, because that they're struggling, that they're like they moved out west to make a dream, they're capturing the dream. And you know what, Johnny, if they just give me my shot on stage, I'd be the best damn actor. And then all of a sudden you get this character where sometimes he is that, where he gets the dream, and it's all taken away from him. Or he gets that and he kind of achieves it, but he has a chip on his shoulder. And then, but he was in this one really popular movie, right? And then they decide, you know what, we're going to remake it. And like, we'll have you advise on it, but like, it's going to be this younger, fresher,
better looking.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill everybody.
I'll just kill all of them.
And then I'm going to be like, oh, this is terrible. I'm trying to advise on this new movie and everybody keeps getting murdered. How can I work like this? And you're like, okay, well, that's an actual type of Hollywood monster that exists as well.
Yeah.
So like all that works for the character,
or even there's an amazing episode of Tales from the Crypt where John Lovitz, I'm sorry, not John Lithgow, John Lovitz from SNL. Yeah. Plays like he's the best actor, but he looks like John Lovitz, so he can't get any roles. and his best friend is this fucking guy. Another famous actor from the 90s who is a very tall, attractive, everything, and he keeps snaking the roles out from under him. Not because he's a better actor, but because he looks the way he looks. So Lithgow ends up, in the series. You should check it out. I think it's on. It's got to find the Tales from the Crypt somewhere.
Yeah,
He's
Tales of
the
the
guy.
Crypt. No, but the most important thing about any iteration, I think the sticking with the showbiz thing, I think you're confusing people by sticking with keeping all of the Basil Carlo stuff, but sticking with the name Matt Hagen. Now, if you want to do that as an homage to the Silver Age, I don't necessarily blame you for that. I just think it's confusing. I think it confuses other people. I was always annoyed when people would be like, "Oh no, the character's like this," unless it was from the animated series where you got all these wonderful, pretty much quintessential versions of the character. If that's what you got from, like, that's fine. But when people tell me about character origins and it's something that I know it's animated, well, it's kind of like you didn't do your due diligence. This is a nearly impossible character, even to do correct due diligence on, because everybody who has gone back to Carlo has brought something back from a later iteration. So, or later adaptation. And then anybody who adapts it uses the Matt Hagen moniker. So, the most important thing that you should take away is the loss of identity. And that's the most important. The loss of identity is the most important aspect of this character, simply because it's a man who has forgotten where he comes from, what he does, why he even set out to do what he's doing in the first place. Because as we got into the New 52, he doesn't remember what his face looks like. He's changed so many times that his original DNA has been altered. He can't get that back. And that would have an extreme, it's almost like the warp of the Invisible Man, where there's so many times you can look in the mirror and not see anything, where fundamentally that's going to have an adverse effect on your psyche. You don't just lose who you are, you slowly deteriorate from who you are, because who you are becomes a fading memory, and that's painful. That's and that's pitiful, and that's something that's inherently intriguing, because you have real world diseases like Alzheimer's and things like that, where now everybody with Alzheimer's isn't turning to a giant clay monster and robbing a bank. But if you've ever had that in your family, every time you come to grips with someone, or if they live with you, there's a part of them, you'll have this moment of clarity, and then a little bit more of them is stripped away every single time. You know what I mean? And it's pulled away. It's a real life pain that never gets better, because these people are forgetting who they are to begin with. And that's why you get all of these wild adaptations of this character and so many iterations of this character, is because that idea is inherently scary, and that idea is inherently tragic. So like, people are always going to be fascinated by that. And I think that's why he's going to be one of Batman's enduring characters, because so many iterations they've made Clayface a friend of Batman's, someone he doesn't know, someone he might know. It's inherently interesting, no matter who it happens to, because it's a real world problem that could happen to any one of us. Any one of us could get Alzheimer's. You know what I mean? Any one of us could get hit in the head hard enough where you're amnesic. Or the thing is, when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize what you see anymore, that's a terrifying notion. And I couldn't say how I would react to that situation. Some people would break down. Some people probably get scared and violent. Some people try to end the process entirely. And all of these iterations of Clayface have tried that, so to speak. So all of them have been interesting, except for Clayface number 6. He was kind of a boner. And Todd, and let's not forget everybody's favorite one, Todd. But I think that's a great place to wrap it up. If you do forget who you are, please don't pick the name Todd. Emerald, what do you got going on?
Work event that I'm gonna have to take off for here shortly, and then hopefully make it in time for Rogues Gallery over on Iron's show. Then tonight at 7 p.m. over on my channel's insert title here. Then at 6 p.m. PST over on my channel on Tuesday is Nerds Covering the News. And then the new date of Make Me a Sandwich, which is Thursdays, 6 p.m. PST over on Devil Made Me Do His channel.
Just finishing up. I'll call you back. Sorry, thought I was muted.
You motherfucker.
So when you're muted when you are not needing to be muted, and then when you need to be muted, you're not muted. It's perfect.
You know, I thought we were friends.
Professional. We're learning to be professionals here.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Sorry.
You know what? We landed it. Okay, I was like,
Sorry.
Yeah, don't be sorry. That was the least of our worries for what happened today. But what do you got going on? And yes, obviously, because if I'm home and I have a Halloween party, if I'm home and around, I'll definitely be I'll be around for the show. But if not, I'll be, sleeping on a couch because I drink too much punch.
That's fine, dude. It's gonna be the glorious and low-key return of the Rogues Gallery on our new night, Fridays at 4:30 p.m. PST. So we'll kind of see where it goes. And next week's gonna be a little janky. Next week is actually me and the wife's anniversary. So nice. Halloween weekend is our anniversary. So we may do a Halloween special on one of the nights, either Friday or Saturday. I'll keep everybody posted, let you know when it is. But aside from that, the whole weekend is non-streaming. We've got a whole thing planned. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll keep everybody posted, and we'll try to engage as much as possible. And then we're going to return to a regular schedule, Saturdays, 4:30 p.m. PST for Rogues Gallery, and sporadically through the week for Iron Cat.
Nice.
Work is not accommodating at all. So it's just kind of when we can do it. It could be Monday. It could be Wednesday. It could be Thursday. Doesn't matter. It's when we can do it, and it'll happen. That's the news show that, and just current events, just kind of talking about everything going on, bringing on a smaller panel just to kind of digest the way the world is going and talk about it a little bit. But that's all I got going.
All right, guys, I want to thank everybody who watched the show. Catch us next week. We will, I don't know who we'll talk about yet, but we'll be talking about someone. Oh, wait, I don't want to do that.
Come on. Yes, Batman, clad in the somber costume which has struck terror to the heart of many a swaggering denizen of the underworld. Bob? Done.
Holy CinemaScope! Holy miscast Batman! Holy movie moguls! Holy cliffhangers Batman! Holy suborbit Batman! It's raining down there! Big history! Holy catastrophes Batman! Holy bullseye Batman! Holy stereo! Listen to this! Holy armadillos! Holy Krypton! Holy trampoline! Holy fork in the road! Holy Titanic Batman! Holy Houdini! Holy funny bone the Joker! Holy chutzpah! Holy precision! Come on, Worth!
Tomorrow,